Hey guys, welcome back. So we are starting part 3 of the manual swap project. Pretty exciting. We did get a crank. If you guys saw the last video, we are starting to get a crank. So we got a the body control modules and wiring set up from a facelift manual R53. There we go. Give me a minute. Now we're installing that, and hopefully seeing those wires and whatnot and getting that all set up will allow this car to turn over all the way. Fingers crossed. So that is what we're working on right now. Alrighty, as you guys saw yesterday, we ended up changing the wiring harness in it to one from a manual facelift R53, because this is an 06, thinking that that was possibly the issue of why we have a crank but we have no start. We did that, the car still just cranked over, no start. Listening to the car cranking over and over, it really sounded like it wasn't getting spark. And so then obviously the concern was, are we flooding it with fuel? What's going on? Why isn't it just wanting to start up and over? It's making some noises, but it sounds like there is no spark. We were, concerned about, the car's been sitting for a while. This car's been on the back burner. Has the wires been chewed by rats? Are they bad? What's gone on? Is it the coil pack not making a connection? Something has to be going on. We got this car running just with a bad trans. So trying to go through everything, and then we decided to start checking all of the fuses everywhere just to confirm. But one of those fuses was actually blown, and so we replaced that and it started right up right away, which is great. So now we have this car started, so I get to put it back together and start adding the fluids back to it and bleed the clutch, which is super exciting because this means that once we get this clutch bled, that we will have successfully completed a manual swap on the R53. And I had faith in us, which is why I jumped into this project, but then it was just overwhelming a little bit and kind of scary. Like, do we actually know what we're doing? Are we actually going to be able to do this? But like, we're doing it. So I'm super excited. I am gonna go ahead and start putting this car back together, so I figured I would show you guys that process.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly.
Alrighty, so it is the next day. We did try and bleed the clutch on this and it wasn't working, and then we figured out that we have to bleed the slave cylinder first. So with that being said, that's what we're gonna do today, and then hopefully the whole system will bleed and then this car will be on the road. So I'm super excited because right now it's not going into gears, so that's kind of our issue. So that's why we need to bleed the slave cylinder. So hopefully once all this is together, it'll all be working. We'll have a bled clutch, no more air in the system, and it'll drive. As soon as we finish bleeding that, then I get to do the cooling system, and then we should be good to go. So I'm so stoked on this. Like, seriously, I picked this one because it was literally so clean. It has every freaking option in it. It is so nice. It was so well taken care of. It only has like 75,000 miles on it. I don't know. I think this is a really clean example of an R53, and it was one that I wanted to keep around, which is why I decided to do this swap. So yeah, I can't believe it's like finally coming to a close, and now it's the fun part, which is driving it and modifying it maybe. So yeah, let's get started.
It's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking.
Alrighty, so just an update. We got the clutch bled, and then as soon as it started to bleed, we noticed a little leak on the inside because we bled the solenoid. And then once I started pressing the clutch, I saw that there was like a couple drops of fluid next to the clutch pedal. So then we realized it's from this guy here, which goes from the reservoir down to the inside of the car. So thankfully we already bought an extra one like a few months ago, just in case if anything happened, or you know, we needed a new one, the other one wasn't right. So thankfully we have one, but it's gonna be a big pain to swap out. So it's kind of a bummer that it's leaking, because the clutch got bled, and then as soon as we started pressing it and making sure all the gears were going in and whatnot, it started leaking, and then we lost the bleeding. Alrighty, so we went ahead and fixed the leak. So now finally the clutch is officially bled, which is awesome, which means I get to do the cooling system, and as soon as that is finished, it's gonna be driving. So we're like this close to being there, which is so cool. And starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now. Alrighty, so I finished buttoning up the cooling system on this thing, so now we get to bleed it and then hopefully take it out for its first drive. Alrighty, out on our first test drive. Woo! We have reverse. How's the clutch? Excited to have the manual swap R53 officially on the road. It's pretty crazy. We made a lot of progress in the beginning getting the trans swapped over, and then we just took a big break because we already had a car being used for the purpose that this one's now being used for, and we had other projects like the FRS come up, so those were a little bit more of a priority for us than the manual swap. But it's officially done, it's officially driving, it is doing awesome. so I couldn't be more happy with that. The only issue that we still have is that we are having the automatic transmission codes pop up, and I'm trying to figure out a way to solve them, but it kind of looks to me like the only way we're going to be able to solve them is if I can find somebody that can code so that they can remove these codes out of the car. So if you guys can code, or if you have any more information on getting these codes removed, feel free to comment below. I will gladly take anyone's advice on this. So I really just want to get that squared away, because California emissions are very strict, as I'm sure many of you guys know. So with that being said, this car will not pass emissions with the transmission code. So hopefully soon we will get that fixed, and once we do, you guys will obviously be hearing about it, as well as we kind of now have some mods going on for it. We're lining some stuff up for it, so that's exciting. Yeah, I'm super stoked. I like crazy that this is all come together finally. This car is so clean and such low miles, so it was really the perfect candidate for the manual swap, and it was a perfect candidate to stick around. That is all for this video, you guys. Peace out, and I will catch you in the next one.